Gaming started in arcades with machines, yet as more people wanted to play games, they started coming to homes. Home gaming led to consoles like the NES and Atari, which gave way to the PlayStation and the Xbox. Soon, games would shift towards systems like computers in the mid-90s, with Windows 95 bringing Microsoft's DirectX. So began the split between console and PC gaming. So with a laptop growing up, it was hard to play games with friends because most of them have consoles. I'm glad that I did grow up with a laptop though, and this isn't because I think console players are peasants, but it's really the cost of owning a console. If a person bought a Series X and bought Xbox Live, play online for the console's lifespan, which is say 7 years, that costs overall $912. Then you gotta realize the cost of games, and with most AAA games nowadays being $60 to $70 per game, that starts to stack up. Now, again, this video's point isn't to shit on people who own consoles, but to think about what they could have done better with their money. So here's the problem with PCs. Now, as I said in an earlier video, game devs put PC optimization as their last priority when making games, especially now. Like for example, I've got a 10900K and a 3070, and it feels like both components have aged 5 years, even though they were only released 3 years ago. This really causes the cycle of a lack for PC ports due to people not getting PCs because the manufacturers are spiking the prices and they're refusing to optimize the games. Now, I've covered a similar problem with Call of Duty in another video, developers not wanting to optimize games, but I'm going to dive into the more hardware manufacturer side. I'm going to start with NVIDIA, which has been getting a lot of attention recently with melting connectors and price hikes as high as Snoop Dogg, and not getting with the times. If you look at it in 2016, $599, the GTX 1080 was released. But in 6 years, a 80 tier card from NVIDIA experienced a price hike of $600, a 100% increase with the 4080. Where you compare this to inflation, which is a reason why the price has increased. The dollar lost its value by 21.9%. Other than price hikes, another big issue with NVIDIA's graphics cards is lower VRAM than needed on their lower tier cards. With increased fidelity of textures in games, there's a toll on VRAM on the GPUs. The Series X and PS5 both have 12 gigs and expect to run games for the next 5 years. It's nice that NVIDIA has finally begun opening their eyes by making a 4080 Super with 20 gigs of VRAM, but until base models get this treatment, it's gonna be an industry issue. Intel is next on the chopping block with price hikes not as high as Snoop Dogg, but still with a $100 increase. Their flagship CPUs, the 900K CPUs. The problem with Intel is not having long socket lifespans and their CPUs being really power hungry. The longest spanning recent CPU is LGA 1700, which has supported 3 generations, which is a step in the right direction. But if you think about it, 14th gen was a refresh of 13th gen. And if you compare this to AMD's last socket, AM4 also supported 5 years of CPUs, with some still coming out, like the 5800X3D, the 5600X3D, and the rumored Ryzen 3 5100. And moving on to game developers have been increasingly dependent on upscaling like AMD's FSR and NVIDIA's DLSS, and recently Intel's XeSS. And with the increased dependence on upscaling, game developers have lost touch with what it means to optimize a game. Games keep looking better, but we don't have the hardware to run the games without upscaling. Upscaling can help lower-end systems run games with high performance, but it completely misses the point if even the best hardware has to use it. Another one of the issues hindering the PC gaming space is the issue of people's inexperience with computers and downright not choosing to play on PCs. People now grow up with consoles instead of having like a family computer to use. And if I asked 8 out of 10 people if they would add me on Steam, 4 of them would ask what in the world Steam is, and the other 4 would ask what I'm smoking. People haven't understood how much of a gaming goldmine PC gaming is with the multitude of stores that you can get games from, and how much more you can do with a PC compared to a console. Others believe that PCs are complicated, so they decide not to build one, but many pre-built companies create great systems, with others being unrespectable. There's also that cultural issues where people would ask if they want to hop on the Xbox or PS4 after school, with people fearing that if they swap over to PC, they won't be able to play with their friends anymore, which is a reality, but the lines are becoming blurred, with most online games becoming cross-platform. At the end of the video, consoles have ease of use, yes, but when it comes to the long run, getting a PC is a better investment because they're upgradable and can do more than just play games. The only issue with the PC gaming space is neither hardware manufacturers nor game developers put PC ports in mind when making their games. That's also the people problem, where people don't know how to use PCs or are not used to them because they grew up playing on a console. Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end. I enjoyed making the script for this video, and if you liked the video, consider dropping a like and subscribing to the YouTube channel. That's it for now. Bow out.